Hello and welcome to the Tap Market Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Scarborough. I'm an entrepreneur who has started, acquired, and more importantly, is focused on growing companies. In this podcast, you'll hear from entrepreneurs about how they got their start, what their company is about, what has worked for them to get to this point, and how they plan to build their brands. Expect to find actionable tactics that you can use to grow your business and get motivated to get through the grind into a meaningful entrepreneurial outcome that will change your life. I'm thrilled to have you here. Be sure to follow us on YouTube and Instagram at Tap Market, and let me know if you've been listening to the podcast. I love connecting and hearing from you. All right, let's get to it. Hey guys, it's Troy from the Tap Market Podcast. Today, we've got Elina from Dood Woof here with us. Elina, say hi.
Hey everyone.
So I'm going to have you jump straight in. Tell us about the product that you're bringing to market and why you got started. I love this brand. I've actually got it right here. She sent me some prior to this. So we'll talk about it. But tell everybody why you got started and what it is.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, Troy. So I have a company called Dood Woof. Dood Woof is a brand for doodle owners. So think golden doodles, Bernedoodles, anything mixed with a poodle. And the first product that we brought to market was a doodle detangler spray. The reason that was the first product I brought to market is because when I decided to start this brand, I interviewed a bunch of doodle owners, and it was clear that the number one challenge of having a doodle was that their hair gets matted and tangled really easily. And when I looked at everything that's on the market, it contained terrible ingredients, chemicals, just nothing that I would want to put on my own dog's hair and skin. So I decided to create a brand new, the best, definitely, doodle detangler spray that's human grade, all natural, and just all the good stuff.
So you've got a dog bed behind you right now. How long have you been a dog owner for? Is this a whole life endeavor of dogs that you've grown up with? Or is this when you got a dog? Is it how's it working?
Yeah, my dog's my personality. No, I'm kidding. This is my first dog. So his name's Oscar. He's a Bernedoodle. And before that, never had dogs, but started this company because one, there's so many reasons why I started it, but one, love my dog, love creating content with my dog, and saw a need in the market for products specifically for doodles. And also it was just kind of a very interesting chain of events where I had just gotten laid off. And I was thinking okay, now this is the perfect time to pursue my passion and what I actually want to be doing. And so it was kind of all the stars aligned, and here comes Dood Woof.
And you talked about asking your audience. Take a step back in your journey prior to even launching the product, which is now on Amazon for everybody. Go check it out. But you also have an Instagram page that people can follow and see how the story started. But how did you get started and build that audience that you could then interview and ask them what product you wanted to create? Because that's something we talk about a lot here with the Tap Market Podcast. Is the majority of our listeners, I think, are going to be people just getting into entrepreneurship. They maybe don't even have a product like you in market, but they're interested in trying to bring a product to market. And so they need to know what are those first steps you take to have a launch that we're going to eventually talk about here that was as successful as yours. So what did you do to initiate this? And you did it for a while too. How long did you do it?
Yeah. So we're recording this podcast right now. It's March 1st, 2024. The first time I posted on Instagram was May 26, 2023. So less than a year ago. So a year ago, Dood Woof wasn't even a concept. I was still working my tech job, etc. And before I launched Dood Woof, I had no idea how to make a reel or anything. So I'm saying this as in literally anyone can do this. Truly. So I decided I wanted to make a brand for doodle owners. I'm a doodle owner. However, I think it's important that, I have my own challenges of having a doodle, but it's important to kind of validate things with a larger audience. I didn't have an audience. I don't even know if I had an Instagram account yet. So what I did is I I went on Facebook and I typed in doodle owners and like just looked at different Facebook groups. And I like joined some of these Facebook groups and I posted like, hey, I'm Elina. I'm thinking about starting a brand for doodles. Was wondering if like someone would be willing to just chat with me for like 15 minutes. I want to hear about like what you think are like the challenges of having a doodle or something along those lines. And I interviewed like 50-ish people. And from that, it was really quick. People were super happy to jump on board and help out. And from those interviews, I just gathered that the three main challenges is that their hair gets really tangled, they're super smart, and they're high energy. And I decided to do their hair gets matted and tangled easily. And then from there, so I decided that's the problem I was trying to solve. From there, I went on ChatGPT and I said, hey, like this is the problem I'm trying to solve. Like, give me some products to help solve this. So it gave me like a list. I looked at Doodle Detangler Spray. I then went and saw like what was already on the market and saw that literally everything on the market, either one, didn't work, or two, was made from all these chemicals and terrible ingredients. And that's how I came up with my product.
And then you what for the next like time frame? Because we've got some dates thrown out here now. So when did you actually launch the product? And so what did you do from May until product launch to get a customer base that you could launch to, or a follower base or an engagement base that you could launch to?
Okay. Yeah. So May 26th, and I know this because I recently looked at this, I made my first Instagram reel. I had no idea what I was doing. It was really cringy. So first I just asked like maybe like 20 of my close friends, family to follow me. And I started posting on Instagram and I started like making these reels that like basically when I made my account, I made sure to only watch things related to doodles. Like, so everything in my feed was related to doodles. And I knew that I wasn't trying to be an influencer. And which meant that if I saw a video that I thought I could like remake and my like basically I could remake the same video, just put my own little spin to it. Like I saw it got a lot of views, so let me like redo the same video. I'm not trying to be an influencer. I just want to get more like reach of doodle owners. So I started kind of recreating different videos that were going viral. Some hit, some didn't hit. Then I started telling my story as well. And I was putting people on my email list. So I had like in my bio, I had join my news or join this newsletter for the top 5 doodle related finds of the week. I mean, some people joined, some people didn't, but I was surprised. There was like a big number of people that did join, and just kind of through this whole like Instagram, emailing them, like that developed connections. Like I definitely had raving fans because I was sharing my story. I was sharing my challenges of like, oh, this is delayed. Or I'd be like, I have these 2 options for my labels. Like, what do you think? People would respond, like they would kind of join in on the journey. A couple months before launch, I thought I was going to launch way earlier than I launched December 11th, 2023. So this was like 8 months. I thought I was going to launch a lot earlier, but I had like a big delay in my label making. So at first I was like, I really need to launch because I was laid off like this. I was doing this, like my savings were dwindling down, but in my head, I was like, okay, so I have this 2-month period delay where I could either be like sad or feel bad that everything's getting delayed, or I can really do something impactful during this time. So what I did, and it's super manual and it's not sexy at all, but I would like one by one reach out to like these doodle influencers, like one by one send them messages and be like, hey, can I send you, like, I really like your stuff. Like, can I send you a free product? And then maybe 20% of them responded. And I didn't have a product yet. So then I'd be like, hey, I'll let you know when the product's ready. And so basically like a couple days before launching on Amazon, I sent out these products and I probably messaged like 500 to 1,000 influencers, which is like a lot of manual work. And maybe like 50 or 60 of them like wanted the product, which is really not that big of a percentage. But I sent it out to them and I didn't pay them. I just asked them if they could send them free product. I said, no strings attached. I don't want anything in return, just your feedback. And I would say probably like 60% of them either made a post about my product or posted it on their story. And so when I launched, that was like right when I launched too. Like I made sure I sent it out right in that time frame. So that also like drove traffic and followers to my account.
I love that. You say you had like a list of email. I tend to ask this question, even though it can make people uncomfortable, but it's a good number to indicate to people who are on the fence on what they need to launch. What would you say that email list size was? It could be a big number, but I'm imagining it's technically a smaller number than you want to say out loud, and that's the point. Is that you don't need a huge audience to launch to.
I'll share the number, and then I also want to share how I got most of my email list because it's different than what I just shared.
Okay.
So I actually feel like I gathered a decent amount in this time, which is like 500 to 600, but I don't think you need that. I spent 8 months. Like if I was to go back, I would try to launch way earlier, and I wanted to launch way earlier than I did. I just couldn't. So you don't need 500 to 600 emails.
Right. So what was the trick then that you did to get the 500 to 600?
Oh, okay. So like I mentioned, so I had my Instagram going, and then I had this, like, I didn't really know what to offer them. Now I offer them like a discount for my product, like a 15% discount. But before you have a product, that's like, it's way more challenging in my opinion to get emails. And so I did have a decent amount of followers, as like they kind of kept coming. So I probably, when I launched, I had like 3,000 Instagram followers from like May to December, but not a lot of those were like converting to emails. So what I did was I joined a lot more doodle Facebook groups, and every morning I would spend like an hour looking at what people posted in these Facebook groups, because some of them had like 70,000 members in there, like the golden doodle lovers, things like that. And I would look at what they posted. And I mean, this is like not really allowed because you can't do self promotion, but I did get kicked out of a couple of them. But if someone like made a post about like, hey, what are like the best detangling products? I would be like, hey, like I created this I would comment on it. I'd be like, hey, I'd created this detangling product. It's coming out soon. Like, this is why it's better than everything else that everyone said. Like, come join my waitlist. And that, actually doing that from Facebook groups, is what got the most people on my email list.
That's a fantastic hack. There's one other they call it a gray hat tactic. It's not technically allowed or legal in Amazon, but I've heard of other people doing this. So when you reach out to those influencers prior to launch, you can gather momentum in Amazon by driving outside traffic to go purchase on Amazon. It's really great if you have an attribution link, because it can lower the cost that you pay Amazon from sometimes 15% down to 5% of what you pay them, which is huge benefits to the bottom line. Although bottom line is not always the big deal at the beginning, it's all the other things. But you could ask those people, would you be willing to buy it and then have me give you an Amazon gift card on proof of purchase? And a percentage of them would do that. And if you get them to buy from Amazon, it's just one more buy. It's one more buy. It's one more whatever. But to be explicitly clear, Amazon does not allow a pay for performance process. And so that's why I call it this like gray hat tactic. But if you can get people to do that early on, those initial purchases are what starts that flywheel for you. And then you get your friends and family to come, and then you get your, cold email list to come. All those things over time, like with a consistency of a couple of weeks, you can really get that flywheel going. But sounds like you did a good job. I mean, how did you feel the launch went when you actually opened it up on Amazon?
It was good. So I didn't know what to expect, and because I truly poured like my heart, soul, and just all my energy into the launch, which is like I would post a lot. And this, like, yes, I would post. So I posted viral videos, but I also, when it was coming to the launch, I would post like me talking about, I did the scarcity tactic where I only had 2,500 units, which is true, but I like made a lot of videos about like, hey, there's only 2,500 units. Actually, funny enough, I almost did that too much because people commented and they're like, hey, I wanted to buy a couple bottles, but I know there's only so many units, so I only bought one so other people could have more, which was funny. But yeah, so I did a lot of that. And then I was like, well, I hope this works. But when I launched the first day, I had 150 sales. So that was good. And that was enough to trigger kind of the Amazon algorithm where they, in the dog conditioner category and the one above it, dog shampoo and conditioners, I got the #1 new release. So then I like was able to take that screenshot and like send it out to my email list and be like, thank you so much. I couldn't have done it without you. And that was also, then I started like, a big part is now getting reviews. So I was like kind of using that to get more reviews, etc. So that's what I'm working on now, is like getting more and more reviews to keep the flywheel going.
So I have this product here, and I went and looked on the market myself to see if there was other stuff like this too. And the way that you tout the the differentiations on this is really neat. Like the hypoallergenic, like I know, like I actually had a chocolate lab that we lost a couple of years ago, which always makes me sad when I think about it. But my buddy has a doodle, and like when I ask him, why did you get a doodle over just a normal lab, and he's like, oh man, they're hyperallergenic. And like you've hit like the 100% natural, the made in the USA. You've got human grade ingredients, no paraben, no silicone, the right pH balance for dogs. I mean, these are all like the buzzwords that people are looking for. Like you've hit the nail on the head. And dogs became so popular during COVID, especially. I think there's like twice as many dogs in America. You might even know the stat than there were like pre-pandemic. It's gone crazy. But do you feel like that's the key differentiator for the product? Because I want you to talk a little bit more about what went into the development of this, and the 2-month delay and that stuff. You really put something great together in this bottle, and it smells good. Just so everybody knows, this is lavender scented, and it smells fantastic. But the fact that it doesn't have any of those things in there that are going to irritate the dog skin. My Labrador started out with like a irritated belly. We changed her food. We did all these things to like try to get it so that her skin on her stomach wouldn't be irritated. And this is something I would have had to have bought for these reasons to help her with her skin problems. But you seem to put a lot of time, energy, and effort into this product in developing it. Do you have any war stories from that process?
Yes, of course.
Hit me with them.
So first thing I want to say is this is the best product on the market. Creating a brand, in my opinion, it's way easier when you have a good product. However, I will say that my product's good, best on the market, most effective, highest quality. However, I still think my differentiating factor is my brand, is me like being on, sharing my story of how I developed. Like, I think if my product was worse, I think people would still buy it because they're bought into my brand, is what I'm trying to say. But it is easier when I have a good product. So
what you're saying though too is also what I'm finding in exactly what you're talking about, where you're building a brand, you're humanizing a product brand through your content and through connecting with you and telling your story, is it allows you to actually charge like a slightly more premium price in most cases, which is really what a lot of early stage companies are going to need because they don't have scale. And that is a huge differentiator. So like you have a better product, you have the brand, and I don't know, you correct me if I'm wrong, but you could charge a premium price as well to offset all of that value that you're creating. Correct?
yeah, just for reference, I charge $27.99 right now. The second highest product and they're twice as big as mine, fluid ounces, they charge like $14.99. Like my competitor is bigger and they charge $14.99.
But
And people are buying my
it's a faceless Chinese brand or something, right? Like,
I mean, it says made in the USA, but like people are, especially initially, people were buying from me and leaving reviews because they knew me outside of Amazon. Because no one's going to go on Amazon and buy a product that has 0 reviews. Like, think about it. Like those 150 people that bought, like in the first day, like they had no idea like if this product works. They literally bought because I created trust and like connection with them off of Amazon. And then they all left reviews, and they even if like let's say they had a leaky bottle or something like that, they still want to support me because they're in it now. So they're leaving these 5-star reviews, and then even though my price is higher, people are looking at my product. They're like, "Oh, like people that just found me on Amazon, they're like, "Oh, okay, $27.99. Like that's a lot. Look at all these reviews. Like there must be a reason this is like priced so high. Let me like try it out."
yeah, I think that's spot on. That's exactly that's the playbook that you have to go with. And in today's market, there's so much noise out there. And to be fair, there's to try to go at it with just like paid advertising, it'd be so expensive that you'd have to be venture capital bankrolled to do it. To get the reviews and to get the conversions, you would be losing money for a long period of time. So being able to build an audience, launch to an audience, be able to leverage that audience to give you reviews, to be able to get more profitability from that audience, to then be able to purchase a second minimum order quantity from your supplier to restock. All of those things are just the absolute playbook. So where do you go from here? What's on the horizon? What's in the like 12-month plan and the 5-year plan? Is it new products? What is it?
So one thing that's in the works right now, I've always wanted to partner with a rescue. A lot of people that get doodles, including myself, we got them from a breeder, and there's different reasons why we got them. However, like we all want to support like rescues. So right now I'm partnering with a rescue where a portion of the profits are getting donated to that. It's a doodle rescue. And so one, I want to do that for the brand. I want to do that because I want to do it. And then two, this is also the way that it's worded. I want to share this because this is like a strategy that I learned from someone else. The way that it's worded on the bottle is send a picture of this bottle with your pet to this email, and we'll donate a portion of the profits to a doodle looking for his forever home. So what that does is I put that on the label. It's not on this label, it's on the next one. It's in bright red. And so when someone sends me an email with a picture of their pet with the bottle, one, I have their email. Two, I'm like donating a portion of the profits to the rescue. Three, I'm then following up with them and it can ask them to leave reviews. So it's like a flywheel of like doing good and have their email and can keep getting reviews. So anyways, that's like a big initiative I'm working on right now. Also getting this product onto TikTok Shop is one of my next big initiatives. And all of this is so I can invest more money into the business and keep growing like this brand and keep giving people, like my customers, good products, because it's not cheap creating like high quality products. And then three, I'm working on developing a like all natural, hypoallergenic, etc. doodle shampoo, detangling properties. That's like the next like plan.
Do you think you can use the same supplier for those future products, or do you have to find a new supplier for those?
I would like to use the same supplier. And although it is on my mind that it's good to have a backup supplier.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to call them one day and then be like, "Oh, we're backed up. We can't get you your order for a couple months," and it just turns into a conundrum for you. But that's entrepreneurship. There's always something like that going on that you have to fight through. So I like the idea
Yep.
of TikTok Shop. I know we were talking about that together, you and I, prior to the show, as just a huge opportunity. It seems to be once TikTok raised their commission price from 3% to 8%, that they really changed their algorithm to incentivize people to, I guess you can anyone can influence your product on TikTok Shop. And so it incentivized a lot of people in the algorithm to do that because they're getting commissions. Their TikTok's making more money, et cetera, et cetera. So it seems to be all the rage right now. I don't think it's going anywhere. It seems like a good competitor to Amazon, which they need. So we haven't even done it with our brands. We've done marketing there, but we've got to really focus ourselves even on the TikTok Shop. So maybe more to come on that. I'll race you to TikTok Shop.
First, I need them to activate my account, and then I can hop in the race.
There's always something with these platforms that we rely on to grow our businesses.
Yeah.
What else do you see sort of being on the future? Do you I know you kind of don't you mentioned early on that you don't see yourself as this face of the product, but you kind of are, whether you intended that or not. Do you see yourself continuing to do that? Do you see yourself partnering with influencers or finding an ambassador, or how do you plan to continue to create more content?
So I think about the mission of the company a lot, which is like creating healthy and happy lives for doodles and their owners. So that's what all these like different initiatives. So part of living that mission is creating more products, good, high quality products for doodles. Because a lot, like they don't exist, a lot of them. Human grade products, like in the pet market, is hard to come across. So that's part of it. I would like to build out this company just from like a strategic standpoint on an owner's model. So right now, I feel like I'm doing a lot of the everything, and I would like to be more of like the visionary and have a good team to do like more of the day-to-day tasks. So when I think about the future, I also think about like how I can build out this company in a way that I have more time to even like take a step back, support the mission and the vision, and lead the company in the right direction.
If I were to catch you off guard here a little bit, what do you think the number one task is that you do that is of the easiest outsourcing? Let's say your time is worth $100 an hour, but you're doing tasks that are worth $20 an hour. What is that task that you're like, if I could just get this to someone else, I would have that much time, this much more time back, and it would only cost me that much to do?
Okay, so one of them I've already just started. Okay, so bookkeeper and like a finance person. I like truly don't have the brain space to think about that stuff. And so I need that to be like being worked on throughout the months and stuff without me, so that when tax season, et cetera, comes along. And so I know like all my expenses and how all that is just quickly by looking at my books. So that's one. The second one would be email copywriting. That is writing is always like just takes me like a very long time to figure out. Like I'm way better at talking. So having someone that could help formulate my thoughts into like a good email that people will actually enjoy, like a storytelling email, that would be a huge kind of weight off my shoulders.
You seem fluent with Chat GPT. Have you tried to prompt it to get it like 75% of the way there, and then you have something to start with, so then you can go and like edit it and change it to what you want and be able to just get the project done faster?
I've tried. I don't know, maybe if it's like, maybe I need some more coaching on it, but like it can never get my tone of voice. Like I have a very, like my brand and just me when I write emails, it has like a very specific way of coming across, and I like it. It's like the way I come across. Chat GPT can't do it.
I hear you. We use it in some aspects. I use it actually a lot in the copywriting space for like blogs. So I can take an idea and I can formulate out a blog and I can have it basically write a blog, which for me to get 3,500 words down on paper, it would be a slug. Inherently, entrepreneurs are like, I need to do this. I need to get this done. I need to move on to the next task. And the idea of me sitting and typing out 3,500 words or so 100 times or 300 times a year is just blasphemy. That is never going to happen. And so
It's tough.
it's really tough. That's tough. Just striking the keyboard that many times is tough, let alone the brain power thought of it.
Yeah.
You can sort of like use the prompt engines or use some of these AI writer tools to do 80% of that and then move on. Like I can take all of the topics that I want to write about. I can write out a brief on that, a couple sentences. This is what I'm trying to do. Create an outline, create and prompt it to write a 3,500 word blog. And then essentially what I can do is I can read it and I can change it and I can edit it and I can add tone of voice and I can cut in the pieces that it's missing. Because when I read it, I'm like, well, didn't even talk at all about, this particular product or this particular feature. I can add that in. And now I'm just reading it and doing it. Because even if I were to hand type it, you would say like, oh, Troy, why don't you just hand type it? You'd be done in one go. No, you're not. You're rereading it anyways and you're editing it. And so
Yeah.
it's been a good tool for me to just like get thoughts down on paper fast, to like break writer's block or break like procrastination, because it's like I can easily write a prompt anytime and it'll do it. And now it's like I just now somebody's giving me work to do and now I can hammer through the work. We use a
Okay,
VA too. VA is like digital though, so you can't. There's only so much you can give them. Like you can't make them pick, pack, and ship, right? A lot of people, the first one they go to is like, I don't want to pick, pack, and ship these things anymore. You're just on Amazon, so you're mass bulking. You're using them to do fulfillment. But some of the Shopify guys, that's the first thing they want to get done with. I kind of like it. I think it's like relaxing, pick, packing, and shipping.
I'm coming to you to teach me your ChatGPT ways.
I'll follow up with you offline. I'll send you a link and I'll let you try it. We use Content at Scale is a great AI blog tool for prompting. They have a really unique feature too. Let's say you know how you were kind of following other Instagram pages and you were kind of copying what they were doing and what worked. You can do the same thing with blogs. So say you had 5 doodle blogs that were out there that I'm sure you already can think of 5. You can take a URL from a specific doodle blog and you can pop it into Content at Scale and they will read the blog page, just the URL. It'll go through, read the whole blog, it'll summarize it, and it'll rewrite that blog for you without copyright infringement. And then you can go through and say, okay, I like this section, not that section. I want to combine these two blogs together. So I'll take that copy out and, I'll add my own imagery, or maybe you can slip in a social media video so that you have link back, stuff like that. That's a unique way for a brand new brand to get into SEO, because you can go out and you can just say, hey, I'm going to copy these 5 blogs. I'm going to copy their top 100 posts and just pay to rip them down, read through every single one, rewrite them, and schedule them out. And you get, it's that 80-20 rule. You put in 20% of the work, you're getting 80% of the results. Now you've got a flywheel started, and now you can see what's working by following it with some sort of SEO engine. And it's just like how PPC works. You create organic content and videos, you post them. The good organic content that gets engagement, put ad dollars behind. It's the same with SEO. If you post 100 blogs, take your top 10 and add more value to them. Make a video on that topic and then post that YouTube video or whatnot in there to have the engagement even longer. Ask for more conversions from those. So you could send those people to more pillar pages where they have to fill out like a form to get information or to get a discount code or something like that. So you can take your top performers and essentially double down on them, just like you would with UGC or social media. Mm-hmm. So that was Content at Scale. There's other ones out there that are very similar to that.
I haven't heard of that, so I'm keeping that in mind.
Yeah, there's other ones too, like Surfer SEO they have an integration with Jasper AI. And so Surfer SEO is a top tier SEO keyword analyzer and creator. Jasper AI was one of the first AI writers, and they integrated together. And so they're another good one. But
okay,
I don't know if they have the URL integration. I just know Content at Scale does.
Okay. Good to know.
So give the audience some shameless plugs here. You are on Instagram. It's Dood Woof Co is the username.
Mm-hmm.
They can follow you there. You're on Amazon, and they would just Google Dood Woof on Amazon, however people do that. I'll have the links.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all sounding appropriate? Where else can people find you?
Those are the two main places. I try not to disperse my social media because I want to have the most in one spot. So
Maybe by the time this goes live, the TikTok shop will be going, and we can just like hyperdrive everyone to TikTok shop to get your algorithm going. Maybe we'll do that.
That would be amazing.
Do you think the handle there is going to be Dood Woof Co as well?
I do have a TikTok. It is Dood Woof Co. I just always send people to Instagram.
Okay.
But yes, I do have a TikTok. Yeah.
All right. Well, then next time you launch more products, we'll have you back on and we'll hear about those and the success that you've had since March 1st, 2024.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate being able to share my story, and hopefully other people that are listening can see that anyone can do this. It's just in the beginning, it's all manual. So you just have to be okay with doing the hard stuff, doing the one-on-one interactions, but none of it's like you have to have all these different skill sets to do. Like it's like anyone can do this and build an e-commerce brand and quit their day job and like make money off what they actually want to be doing. So
you said it perfectly. That's how we wrap. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Hi there. If you found this podcast helpful, I would appreciate it if you took a minute to leave a review. This increases the reach to more entrepreneurs and other people interested in the products, brands, entrepreneurial stories, and their successes, so we can create even more positive small business outcomes. Take a screenshot, tag me in your social stories to friends. This means the world to me to know this podcast has influenced your day and life in a positive way, and that we get to be a part of your own journey. With gratitude from me, until next time, go make it a great day.